we're dealing with a situation here in 2020 that is vastly different to what we were dealing with in markets in 2008. We all have to recognize, that the origins of this crisis are very different. What we dealt with in 2008 started with the banks. Banks were, undercapitalized with insufficiently robust liquidity. Here we are in 2020. We're dealing with a tragic public health crisis that's sending shocks into the economy. The banks are in a much better position here thanks to post-crisis regulation, and we're not seeing anywhere near the disruption that we did back 12 years ago.
Well, we've seen the ECB take serious measures to inject liquidity in Europe as well. Have they had enough of an effect yet for Europe's banking system?
Look, again, all of this is helping. I think what we were encouraged by most around the actions and reaction of the European Central Bank last week, most certainly, was a decision to not dip deeper into negative territory, which I'd like to, if there's some reason to find some optimism in current situation, see as a bit of an inflection point on the part of Christine Lagarde, recognizing, the ineffectiveness of that negative rate policy and the continued policy of cutting rates over the last 6 years. Would see that also, as a lesson to the Fed in current situations as well, to support the stability of the banking sector and not go into the temptation to dip into negative territory.
Christiana, we just heard from Angela Merkel that Europe is shutting its intra-country borders. How much of a significant step is that for the EU, and what's the latest expectation for the hit to the Eurozone economy?
So it's a deeply symbolic step also for a cross-border global institution such as Deutsche Bank. What we're seeing here now is quite literally a pulling up of the drawbridges across the continents and now even within the continent of Europe. That's no doubt going to have some severe macroeconomic consequences for us. If perhaps last week we were talking about a V-shaped recovery, we are no doubt talking about a U-shaped recovery now. And the question is, how deep is that U? The answer to that is how aggressive, how decisive is the fiscal response. We've heard Mnuchin today encouraging. I think, reflecting on the continental response, the Germans here do have a big responsibility to lead here and all of the ingredients to be able to do so. We're talking about and looking at, the German fiscal situation, budget surpluses in the past several years, not to mention negative yielding bunds. All the dry powder is there for the German government to be stepping in and to avoid this becoming a deeper shaped U.